This is Queen AllJAHyé Searles, and I'm making this additional addenda to demonstrate that the town hall that was held on August the 15th was unequivocally a SAG-AFTRA Union meeting. They started planning this big SAG-AFTRA Presidential-Town Hall in June. There was a big meeting on June 18th. We need to discover who all was at that meeting. White supremacistic views were spread throughout social media, as can be seen. Only SAG-AFTRA Union members were invited, and as I stated in the meeting, the president, the national secretary, and board members are all officers and faces of SAG-AFTRA. This was also advertised and promoted on Google as a SAG-AFTRA Presidential Town Hall. Of course, members would believe that SAG-AFTRA supported and sponsored this event. These promotions are allowing only the Caucasian candidates to not only come, but they're stating it as if these are the only candidates for president. This is in violation of the OMLS, the LMRDA, the SAG-AFTRA Constitution, the Civil Rights Act, and something needs to be done, and people need to start taking a stance and speaking out. Union working was also allowed to use SAG-AFTRA Stationery, the logo, all over social media, and this was retweeted by Gabrielle Carteris' camp. It will be a grave travesty of justice if these discriminatory, malfeasant, egregious actions are not atoned for, and Gabrielle Carteris, Matthew Modine, and Jane Austen should be disqualified from running for office in the upcoming elections, as well as any other officers that are found to be in violation of discriminating in this election. I was asked, couldn't I just have gone to the meeting? If I had gone to the meeting, it could have sparked all kind of controversy.
We can't guarantee your safety.
It reminds
We'll
me
never be able to guarantee my
this scene
safety.
that's up here now, the Hunger Games.
I want to
In
go.
fact, the whole
And if you're
thing
killed,
reminds me of
make
a
sure you get it
Hunger
on
Games
camera.
spectacle. SAG-AFTRA leadership, they're putting members against members, rather than conducting perspicacious negotiations and investigations. Who's going to protect someone when you're uninvited and you just show up at a meeting? The person who shows up uninvited to an event, if mayhem breaks out, they're going to bear the burden of responsibility because they weren't invited, they shouldn't have been there, and so why would I show up, or anybody who's uninvited? They all knew about and were in agreement with and worked in collusion with the organizers of this discriminatory union meeting. I'm hoping that this additional addendum, that people will pause and read and hold SAG-AFTRA accountable. Here's again where Gabrielle uses the SAG-AFTRA logo and the national
I'm Gabrielle
VP.
Carteris,
And then Matthew Modine piggybacks on this particular campaign.
Continue moving our union forward.
It's time to call a spade, and this employer-produced campaign is bigger than a commercial. This is a 6-series campaign, and it was launched with a commercial. No other candidate was afforded this opportunity, and Gabrielle is operating as though she is above all rules, all regulations, and all laws.
So what exactly happened? It wasn't picked up. Was that a surprise to you guys, or did anybody expect it? Or
You know what? You never know.
the cast, you guys didn't want it to go anywhere.
What do you mean?
Zoe Haylock, a journalist with Vulture, asked that same question. What does that mean, getting a reboot? She also stated that it didn't seem as though there would be an additional series and that this was it for 90210.
Well, after months of anticipation, it is finally here. BH 90210 premieres tonight, and the original cast is back, including Our next guest, Gabrielle Carteris.
She played Andrea Zuckerman on the hit show and still does in the reboot, but she also plays an exaggerated version of herself. Take a...
Congratulations, Grandma.
I want to talk to you about that G word.
Yeah.
This is going a little bit fast for me, so if you don't mind, I, at least for now, would like her to call me Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby might be a little confusing for her because me, Gabrielle.
It appears as though even the original cast is confused about how to pull off this coup.
Oh, thanks, I gotta go. It's the office. Gabrielle here. Impartial? Of course I can be impartial. That's my duty as president of the Actors Guild of America. I gotta protect actors when they make a complaint. What's going on? Are you kidding? Who's the director? Oh, I'm gonna kill him. You okay?
That stupid actor I punched. He's costing me jobs. Apparently I'm not even allowed to direct myself anymore.
Oh, wait, you want to do the reboot now?
If I can direct the pilot, sure, it'd be good for me, good for my family.
Oh, I'm not gonna offer. You gotta ask. Nicely.
All right, Gab, can you please pull some strings with the Actors Guild? I really need that little teenage douchebag to drop his complaint.
I said nicely.
I said please.
I don't pull strings. But I do set up mediations.
Love you.
I know you do. Okay, you just better never touch another actor again or I won't beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, I know.
Remember that show idea I had? Where you play a taxi driver in old-timey England?
Oh, you mean Downton Abbey? Yeah, the network loved it. The Rock was going to play the Dowager Countess. Yeah, it was going to be huge.
Did you tell him it was my idea?
No, I wouldn't do that at all. If I had did that, they would stop complimenting me.
So you just had to hog all the credit?
That's exactly what I did. That's how the world works, honey. See, the famous guy gets all the credit, and the people that actually do the work, well, they get screwed.
And the truth of the matter is, this is happening right now with big-time star Kevin Hart. He's not being questioned or brought in. I filed a complaint about a tour that turned into a production of What the Fit, and a commercial was embedded. To date, I have not been paid for anything. That should have realistically been 3 streams of income: a tour, a production, What the Fit, and a commercial, as well as the bonus of having dental work done. These improprieties are costing actors lots of money. As this graph will show you, the takeover by social media and new media needs to be stopped. Finally, complainant received an email with a status update. These are insufficient notifications of the SAG-AFTRA nominations. When I saw this magazine, my first thought was, what are they being nominated for now? I looked at maybe the first few pages of the magazine, and then I basically put the magazine down. I found out about the elections by calling the SAG-AFTRA office. This should also be changed. It should be clearly written on the first page that these are SAG-AFTRA nominations. And so begins the 2019 hunger-type games that keep us distracted and confused about stolen elections, rushed negotiations, and other major improprieties that are causing serious diminution to actor earnings, pensions, health insurance, royalties, etc. It's time to pay attention. We can vote for these Hunger Games by online votes, and in fact we have to request a mail ballot. However, for deciding who's going to be over your empire, you can only vote by mail, and our votes must be received by 6:30 a.m. on a date specific. If integrity voting systems can produce an online voting for the SAG-AFTRA Awards, they can also produce online voting for our president and national officers. The fact that you can vote online for the SAG-AFTRA Awards, this confusion is why so many members on the campaign trail believed that they were able to cast their votes for president online, because you can for the awards. What's more important, the awards or your benefits, earnings, and contracts? I, Queen AllJAHyé, will lobby for change so that all actors will be able to vote no matter where you are in the country or the world or what project you may be working on. Actors are some of the most brilliant people in the world. Ask yourself, why can we not vote online for who is running our union? Why must we have mail-in ballots that have to be received by 6:30 a.m. at a post office box that nobody knows where it's at? Queen AllJAHyé will lobby on to the United States Supreme Court if necessary. Let's end discrimination now.